Welcome everyone to the graduate student information session. We really appreciate you taking some time this afternoon to join us. So before we begin, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Marie Reed, and I'm one of engineering advisors from the UBC Okanagan campus. My pronouns are she, her. I graduated with a mechanical engineering degree from UBC Okanagan in 2013. And after graduation, I worked at USNR designing sawmill and planer mill equipment before returning to the UBC Okanagan campus to complete a Master's of Applied Science. And it was during my master's that I became involved in engineering outreach, which led to the position I'm in today. So before we begin our session, I would like to acknowledge that UBC Okanagan is situated in the territory of the Syilx Okanagan Nation and their peoples. I would also like to acknowledge that you are joining us today from many places near and far, and acknowledge the traditional owners and caretakers of those lands. I would also like to let everyone know that this session today will be recorded. So if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to message me directly in the chat. So today's presentation will be covering many different topics related to graduate programs at UBC Okanagan. Our speakers today are Dr. Siddiqa, who is the Associate Director of Graduate Studies, Dr. C. Toller, who is the Master's of Engineering Program Coordinator, and Shannon HOHL, who is the Graduate Studies Administrator. So after the presentations, we will have some time for Q&A. So to facilitate this discussion, we're going to be using the Q&A function, and this function can be found at the bottom of the Zoom window. So we'll do our best to answer as many questions as we can during the Q&A after the formal remarks. And now I would like to pass it over to Dr. Siddiqa.
You have to give me permission to share my screen so I can open up my...
Sorry, I will do that right now. There you go, Dr. Siddiqa.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to have you all over here. I am Sumi Siddiqa. I'm your Associate Director of the graduate program. So after your supervisor, I'm the person who you should be connecting with if you have any issues or concerns related to your graduate program. I have my own research lab with the active researcher myself, and I have students from all different parts of the world. So I am very familiar with all the systems that our graduate students are going through as a student, as a master's or PhD students in our program. And we have our nice research assistant, graduate studies admin assistant, Miss Shannon HOHL, who will be just presenting right after me. Just to introduce her, that she will be your point of contact in case if you have any particular questions related to your program anytime. So you probably all know by now that we have world-class research facilities in our school because our school is relatively newer. Therefore, all the lab equipments and the facilities we have all new and modern and advanced compared to some old schools. And we have lots of different areas there where you can get your specialization on. And that's why you have chosen to be part of this research program and our graduate school. Another important thing over here to highlight this section that we have lots of different types of advanced graduate level courses, which would be very useful for you to look into, which probably not directly to your field, but can develop some software skills, communication skills, technological skills for you for your future, in the career development stage. So look around, look for the courses, browse for the courses. You might find something interesting for you to take on. Timelines are very important to complete a successful graduate program, whether you are a master's student or a PhD student. For PhD student, we have several steps to complete. First is the comprehensive knowledge examination. Our timeline is shown on our website and all the details and the forms. It's 18 months. And the second one is the proposal defense, that is within the 36 months of your start time of the program. But I would like to see the way it goes. First year of your PhD, you should complete your comprehensive exam. Second year of your PhD, you should be completing your proposal. and then you'll be preparing for your next stage, writing thesis, preparing for defense. Typically, 3.5 to 4 years, that's the kind of timeline we see for our PhD student graduating and completing their programs. There are some exceptions, so we can also have those kind of exceptions, but these are our typical timelines. And then we have our MAEC students, typically within 24 months, they complete their programs. They need to complete 6 courses and a good thesis work. There are a few links that I would like to show here. I'm not going into the detail of the links. You can look into the details first about supervisors, their roles, what we expect from a supervisor, student, as a graduate student, what we expect from you. All those details are there. Lab safety, people who are working in the labs, you should have all your lab safety trainings completed and signed by our lab managers and your supervisors, and get access to the labs. There are additional components like disability resources. We probably are not familiar with those, but if you need extra support for your thesis, research, or maybe the courses you are taking, you should always look into the options, whether you are qualified to take all those extra support from the disability resources. Health and wellness, don't suffer in silence. That's what I always say. If you have any concern, you need to talk to someone. Your first point of contact is, of course, always your supervisor, because you should have a very good and collegial relationship with your supervisor. You should be open and honest, and it should help you with your research activities and also maintaining your day-to-day life in a good way. And then if something that is in conflict with your supervisor and you need to discuss further, maybe Shannon is your person, and if Shannon refers you to me, then I'll be your person to go over with all those issues that you're facing. Library services, we have a very helpful librarians and the support assistants there to help you with orientation on all the details and other information, so that can be found in this link I have shared here. Next one is important for us because in School of Engineering, we have a diverse group of people. We get students from all over the world. So it's a very diverse population. So we have to be respectful. We have to be respectful for each other, even though we are not sure about the culture of what we are dealing with. In a research group, you will probably see people from different backgrounds. So these are some resources here in our campus that talks about equity, inclusion, or the sexual violence prevention and response offices. Their websites are there. And locally in our engineering program, we have advisors. They are dealing with EDI, Dr. Yannick, and also Dr. Sabine Wendt, who are really helpful and supportive if you have any questions related to EDI. And we also have our EDI advisor from the Applied Science program. So we have a lot of support. You just need to know where to ask and when to ask and how to ask the right question. Next one is about TA and RA appointments. These are important. If you are a research student, research graduate students, you will have the opportunity to work as a TA for different courses that we have. And we hire TA for different activities, marking, taking courses, tutorials, helping student for during the labs and tutorial sessions, or helping profs to deliver the courses properly. TAs are hired by BC Government Employees Union members as part of that. So therefore we have to follow the rules and regulations provided by that. And also it goes, the paychecks goes directly to your bank account in a certain days of the month. So it's clearly shown. And when you'll apply, you'll receive a TA offer. It should be clearly said on your offer letter, what to expect. Next one is about RA, research assistantship. So RAs are non-union positions. So it is depending on your supervisor who is hiring you. That person will decide your job duties and responsibilities at the very beginning of the term that you are starting your role as a research student with your supervisor. And then the paychecks are also deposited directly to the bank account after your supervisor, assign the hourship with our office in Workday, using Workday. There are other funding opportunities other than UGF and GDS, and you'll be learning a lot more about that in the process. But just important component about UGF and GDS is are allocated to your supervisor. So each of the supervisors receive particular allocation, and depending from their allocation, they decide who they are going to allocate that nominations for UGF and GDS. So that has nothing to do with our office. When we get the nomination, we process the awards and send it out to College of Graduate Studies, and then students who have been allocated for receiving these awards, they will receive their awards directly to their account. One thing to remember, always make sure that you have a satisfactory annual report in your progress every year. That could be the key point, and then try to have a a good understanding with your supervisor what is his or her expectation from you. That will help you to achieve these awards as part of your graduate program. Next one is last item for me to talk about engineering mentorship program. So Applied Science has a mentorship program that offers outstanding opportunity to develop impactful relationship with industrial professionals and other students while developing vital communication skills. So this is a new thing for incorporating in our campus, but this is a good opportunity to learn about industry, what they expect, what kind of interactions are needed. And if you are in the higher upper year student in our graduate program, then you get the opportunity to match with a mentor from industry directly. So this is a good option for you to train yourself, prepare yourself for your career in the next level. So that's where I stop, and I introduce Shannon, who would be your point of contact for a lot of different things. And welcome to our school, and I hope to see you successful in your program. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Siddiqa. I have a slide that if I will share with everyone. This is going to be a very quick presentation, and someone's knocking at my door, but I'm going to have to leave that for the moment. Here we go. So as Dr. Siddiqa was saying, I'm the graduate admin here in engineering, and really what I do is I support students. So of course, your supervisor is going to be your main point of contact, but if you have a query and you're not quite sure, you've looked on the website, not quite sure where to find your information, I'm your great contact. You can email me and I will help you out. I can help students with forms that you need to submit. Maybe you want to know about your progress of your program, what's required. Again, that's me. You have questions about your defenses, that's me. So really, if you have a query that your supervisor isn't the one to answer, then please contact me. You can see at the bottom of the screen here, we're not going to be sending emails, please, to my personal email address. Please send it to engineering.graduate@ubc.ca. This is still my email. I still see them, and I'll respond from that email box. Another new system that we have in place right now is a mechanism for students to make appointments with me. I'm now in a shared office space, which means that I can't just have students dropping in to talk to me. So you can book an appointment through, as you can see on the screen as well, pdportal.apsc.ubc.ca, and just follow the directions within that website, and it'll be pretty easy to do. If you see that there's an appointment time available, but it doesn't work for your schedule, just email me, please, and we can work it out. And really, that's all I have to say. Yeah, just email me if you need have some queries. And I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Saytaler. I think I need to unshare my screen. Marie, I'm not sure if I'm doing that right.
Should just be at the top. There should be a red button.
At the top. Stop sharing.
There it is. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
All right, I think I should be able to start sharing now. And let me get my presentation up. Good afternoon. I am Rudolf Seethaler. I am the coordinator for the MEng program, that is the course-based master that we offer here at UBCO. And I will make this also relatively brief. Dr. Siddiqua provided all of the background about the school already. So I will just remind you that there are some certain requirements that you have to fulfill in order to actually pass your degree requirements. So you need to do 30 degrees of coursework. 24 of these credits must be at the grad level. These are courses that we label with 500. And 12 of the 24 500 level courses must be within your program. There's a maximum of 6 credits that may be taken from undergrad courses. However, what I do have to say is you can't just nilly-willy pick any classes. This is up to me to decide whether you have enough rigor in your program. And so with any course selection that differs from the pre-approved courses that we post on our website, you will have to come to me and get approval for that. The other questions that I often get is what is the minimum length, and that is 3 terms. So in theory, you could do all of your courses in 2 terms, and some people attempt that, but then they have to pay the 3rd term anyway, because that's just what the calendar requires. So there's no point in overloading yourself. Spread the work out and make sure you don't get into too much trouble, because we have had students in the past that were struggling because of high workload. Grade requirements, you can have up to 6 course credits, which is 2 courses with a grade between 60 and 67. But if you, all other grades must be over 68 degrees, 68%, not degrees. And a course grade of under 60% is an automatic fail, but usually means you either retake the class or you find another course to replace that course with. That is a scenario you do not want to end up with, because it usually means that you have to extend your studies for a term. That is expensive, and we don't want you to end up there. So there again, that's why we try to spread out the workload over 3 terms and make sure you have an even workload. The course selection, there are some pre-approved courses that you do not need to have any approval from me. That is, if you just register in the courses listed on the website, no email to me is required. However, if you stray away from those courses, then you will need to get my email approval for that selection. There is now also a pre-approved list for electrical engineering students, and that is the list that they have to follow. There's no courses outside that list. And in terms of summer courses, we are a small school, and that is why we have a limited selection of summer courses. That means the courses that we show on the website for the summer will be offered. They are guaranteed, but there is no guarantee for any other courses. So if you see a course that is offered in the summer, better don't take that during the winter terms, because you're going to run out of courses when you get to the summer. Right. If you do select a course with a 400 or 300 starting digit, you will have to contact Ms. HOHL after you've gotten my approval for that. We no longer offer Vancouver courses for you to select from. That link has been discontinued. There are some accommodations that we're doing for COVID at the moment. We realize that some of you are not able to join us in person because your visas have not come through in time. For that reason, we are providing online options for the courses listed here. They are the courses that are part of our pre-approved list, plus some very highly subscribed courses that we have decided to be able to offer with online options. Online options typically means that the lectures are recorded on Canvas for later view. Some instructors opt to also show these courses online synchronously, but that is not a requirement. It is up to the instructor. Assignments are typically handed in on Canvas, and the weights of missed exams and quizzes are typically shifted to the final exams. It is required that these students attend the final exams, is what we are requiring at the moment, unless things change, and we never know what changes. Right. That is probably all I have to say about the accommodations. Why can't I shift on? There we go. This is a question that is usually quite often asked, and that is, when does the internship actually start? Now, the internship itself starts really in September 2022. However, you sign up for the internship in the fall of 2021, and Ms. HOHL is currently constructing a poll for everybody where you basically just have to sign in and say, yes, I want to participate in that internship. The internship is between 4 and 12 months long. Even though you will be registered in a 6-credit course during the co-op course, during that time, these 6 credits do not count towards your 30 credits of your master's degree. You will have to complete the 30 credits from the courses leading up to the internship. The duration is 4 to 12 months long. As I was saying, what you should know is that these 4 to 12 months count towards your full-time studies. And so that would possibly help you getting a postgraduate works visa of an extended length. You should also know that the fees during the internship are the co-op fees rather than the typical regular tuition fees. So that is a reduced rate. And so overall, this really is a good program for you to get your footing in the Canadian work market, if you're interested in that. Internships themselves, how you would find them is you get some workshop. You are required to participate in workshops during, I think, term 2 in the summer. But these are organized by the co-op office, and they will let you know when they happen. But you are required to participate in them. And once you've participated in these workshops, you will get access to their employment database, and that then allows you to apply to different positions. It is important to note, however, that UBC cannot guarantee a position because we cannot force employers to take on students. It's still up to you to be successful in the interview. If you want to learn more about this, there are some links to the co-op website and also to the fact sheet. And the fact sheet really describes everything in quite a lot of detail. Tuition fees, you probably actually, these last slides are probably not that important anymore. Most of you are here, so you know how to pay tuition. The College of Graduate Studies, it's important to realize what they do for you. They do all of the documentation of your actual degree. And that means we don't actually write a lot of the letters. That's what really the college does. We just provide courses for you. And if you have an issue registering in courses, then you can talk to Ms. HOHL. If you have an issue selecting or deciding on courses, then you can talk to me. And for most other things, really, that's the College of Graduate Studies or the International Programs and Services department helps you with visa questions. And that's probably about all that I wanted to talk to you about today. Thank you very much. Oh, I can
Great.
sharing screens.
Thanks so much, Dr. Seethaler. So before we move into the Q&A portion, I just also want to take a minute to allow Bayan to introduce herself. She is from the Engineering Graduate Student Society.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm sorry for joining in late. So I just wanted to introduce the Engineering Graduate Student Society for this year. I'll be the president. And what the association is all about is all about engineering students. We'll be running events, whether it was professional events, social events, or academic events, as well as hear your voices. So I won't make this long, but I'll keep it for the questions and answers session. But just stay tuned with whatever we have for this year.